What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Derail Valley Let's Play. I'm Slash McCloud. Episode 3 today. If you missed episode 2, go back and watch it. It was a good time. We took all this terrain from Iron Mine north or west with the 060, and we had to double the hill coming up to the machine factory. And now we're going to make our way to the steel mill. But first, we're going to go pay our fees. Why are we gonna go pay our fees on a perfectly healthy locomotive? Well, we're gonna go pay them because we want to refill the coal and water, particularly the water. The coal's probably okay. Give me Bosco, the kitty in my way. Now that locomotive's reset and we can get all of that. What am I doing? Okay, so, and I'm also gonna go and buy from the store here. The machine factory is a goated store. It's got all the best stuff, but right now the only thing I need is a hook for my... Need some tape. I'm gonna need some tape, and I need a hook for my lantern. There we go. That'll work. So we'll buy the hammer. That should be it. We'll need that. We'll need that. All right. Get back down there. Now the remote control is here also, but I don't need a locomotive remote for a locomotive that's not controllable remotely, and I don't have enough money anyway. So, get our fire relit. And we'll go turn our appliances back on. Check our oil cups. We should set your locomotive light to dim when you're parked, but no one else here to run into, so we're not worried about it. Lubricator, that looks okay. Inside the handbrake. Got our air in. And off we go. Gonna be doing a lot of downhill running here, so we'll not gonna worry too much about the wear of it all. Guess it doesn't make much sense to put the lantern where there's already light. Oh. Hey, open the damper, buddy. That'll be okay. It'll come back to us. Water in that dang boiler, though. I hate firing against the gun. It's just... The gun is the injector, by the way. Anyway. Oops, stop. Yeah. That's just a convenient place to put it for now, I guess. That's not too bad. Gonna let the water run a little bit high, carry it a little bit high down the hill. Put quite a bit of coal on that fire. So I'm gonna drift kind of aggressively. Leave some throttle open. So we've kicked over, we're on the hill now. Get our initial set. I'm gonna put this in all the way forward, and we'll just have the throttle open a couple of notches. See where that gets us. I'm leaving that water on for a little while. When it gets to the middle, while we're on this kind of a grade, we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah, that's gonna be good. I don't want to get my brakes super hot already, but I want to remember what the speed limit is. I think it's 60 going down this. Definitely don't want to go over that. It's a really bad idea to overspeed in the S282. Generally ends up in the dirt, and we don't want to be, you know, having that kind of a bad day. Fire's cooled off a lot. I'm gonna kick the blower on a bit and see what that gets me. There's still a fair amount of coal in there. I'd rather have it light first than okay, that's 60 and a 2%. Also want the brakes to be fairly cool. That's an 80, but it's lying. This section here is the worst, and then of course the bottom at the city west. That's 60. I'm gonna kick on some service here. Get it set, and then we'll watch it. That blower's helping a little. At some point, the blower's diminishing returns, though. What you really need is draft, and I do have some exhaust going, but not much. That's a 60, that's a 60, okay. I'm just gonna throw another shovelful on there and we'll be alright. That pressure will come right up when we get on the flat and start pulling. That's the only reason it went down, obviously, because I threw a lot of water in there, but I wanted a bunch in that for our trip down the hill. You know, all that through the curve there, and then I'll kick my brakes back off. Now that speed limit back there said 100, but let's not forget the curve at City West is 30 kilometers an hour. So we need to be at 30 for that curve. I'm going to try not to go over 60 because obviously that's as fast as I can see on the speedometer here. The only thing I would be worried about the pressure coming going this far down is just stressed in the boiler. Is the boiler will expand and contract with that, because that's a change in heat, right? It's a change of energy, right? And that'll make the boiler contract a fair amount, and then when you heat it back up, get back up to running pressure, maximum operating pressure, you'll be in a... Okay, so that's a flat here. I'm gonna kick my brakes back off, let them cool back off, but we're gonna be at the curve pretty soon. But now I only have to slow down another, what, 25 kilometers an hour instead of more. Still just gonna let it drift, but I will hook it up a bit so we get some appreciable draft. Let it have a little bit more violence to it. If there's any pressure in the chest, that's telling you that there's some amount of... We don't really have a back pressure gauge, and you can tell, you can hear it when there's back pressure. All right, so that's a 0.3 for the curve. We have a fairly aggressive set here. About 2 bar, or a full bar of reduction. My fire temperature's come up quite a bit too now that I didn't even change the throttle position. I've just adjusted the reverser Johnson bar. So it's making better use of that draft. Kick the water on just a bit. Well, we don't need it yet. We'll be okay. Get that warmed back up, and then we'll be in good shape. Right at 30 for the curve. Perfect. Boost the throttle just a bit. So yeah, like I said, the only thing I would be worried about with them changes in pressure like that would, in real life, would be, you know, how fast it's happening. But all this is sped up for the gameplay. That would take a long time. Unless something was seriously wrong, or you were operating the locomotive in a terrible way, it would take a long time for the pressure to go down by, you know, 3 bar. Now, though, I need to start reducing my... Tried to catch that. So the only switch we're going to have to open or change is the one here at the Y going up towards the steel mill. And we're going to want to hit that as hard as we can, because that is a hill. Haven't looked at where the delivery tracks for these are. A6I, B3I. If I remember correctly, that's on the front of the train now. Toward the head end. So that'll be easy. We can pull in to B3I, drop that cut, and then go around to the A6 tracks to drop that other. That bar is pretty far back. Look it up 1 notch and it's going to start. You can definitely tell there's a lot more weight behind this than there was last time. It's even on a flat, it's working its brains out. Working pretty hard. Even though the safety's going off, I'm gonna kick, scoop of coal in there, get it going This shovel's way too big though. I really should have waited. That's the next thing I need to do is run up to the goods factory and buy the expert shovel. This one's fine for the big engine. It's really not very good for this one. It's just so big. Every shovelful is a huge change. But we can stop pussyfooting here once we get through this curve. Honestly, a little bit fast. There goes my water. There is a bit of a grade here, if I remember correctly. Downhill towards the oil well central. Rather than messing with it's actually just my boiler being that low. I need to tick some water in it. Trying to run pretty conservatively because we are going to have that hill there right before the steel mill. I want to hit it hard. We're actually just using a lot of water because again, we're over tonnage and we're trying to maintain a pretty reasonable like track speed, and it's a lot, so it's going to use a lot of water. If I slowed down, it wouldn't be nearly so bad, but it'd still be, you know, we're still over tonnage. And I've had this throttle on the ceiling. Now I got it hot and I need to shut the water off. But that's okay. She's really hot. The damper's all the way shut and it still wants to... Yeah, the water's going away quickly enough. It's gonna have to keep adding water anyway. One of the things I don't like about this locomotive, it's not that I don't like it, it's just one of the things I think makes it a poor choice for running over the road is the changes happen so quickly. The changes in boiler pressure, the changes in fire temperature, the changes in the water level. You know, it's because it's all small. It's really a good switching or shunting locomotive. It's just terrible at running over the road. I don't know about terrible. It's not that bad, but it does feel like I'm constantly fighting it because I'm making what feel like minute changes. All right. So I'll wait till we're on the hill to throw that lump of coal in there, because we know it's going to be rowdy. Maybe not. We need water anyway. Kind of right at it. Good. We can hit this hill on the pop. That'd be good. 70. All right. Holy moly, look how much pressure that took out of my freaking cylinder. Moving the bar up 1 notch. It is not meant to run that fast. Not meant to run anywhere near that kind of speed. Gonna make it though. Now she's super pissed. Gonna drown the poor thing. All right. 4, 3. Well, we needed a fair amount anyway. That's gonna get smoky though. Maybe not. This thing uses coal pretty fast. That may not be that bad. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. No, you gotta stop, Slash. Slam it. Just throw it in emergency, it'll be fine. Alright. We'll release it. Shut that because we won't need it. Shut that because we won't need it. Let's see if any of my train's on that track. No. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's not as bad as that could have been. So that recharged. We can just shove this. Where's the release on these cars? There we go. All right, cool. All right, they're all released, so I can just shove this back a little bit and then run back in and open that angle cock and throw a handbrake on it, and it'll be fine. Oh, she's gonna be mad. Quite a bit in there. Sorry, girly. Get that going about 10. I'll stop the train again and that should be plenty. Run back here. Definitely past the mark. Throw a handbrake on. Open that up. And that was job 70, wasn't it? There you go. 58 minutes. Oh my gosh, we got so much time. Sweet. Wait, let's look at that. Something you'll notice on the steam locomotives, if you run in a way that there's a ton of cinders coming out of the stack, it will significantly impact your environmental damage score. And we had a fair amount coming out going up that one hill, but it wasn't like the whole time. Gonna be interesting starting this train on that hill there. A7 is the loading track and A6, so I need to make sure we don't go down the loading track. We do go down that one. All right, that one. Voted everyone's favorite bird-loving YouTuber. It's fine. He's a favorite of mine as well, Mr. Hanks. If you haven't ever watched any of Heist's content, I highly recommend doing so. He's fantastic. Very, very funny. Decent human. We'll have to change that one as we go through there, but I'm gonna let this roll past this, and I'm gonna throw an angle cock open back here. It'll stop pretty quickly. Oh, that was a lot. That was all of it. I just dumped the pipe. Did not mean to dump all of it, but it stopped. So that's okay. Now we just need to recharge it as we, it'll release pretty quickly. All right, I'm gonna kick the sand on. Come on, babe. Open that baby up all the way. See, that's the cinders. This thing's not very bad for cinders. Move it out of the corner a little bit and they go away. Certainly don't need the sand anymore. This thing's got a crazy amount of grip. It's pretty good. We'll throw one more scoop on that. We're on a downgrade, so I think the water's probably going to be fine. And kick some on. Now that half of that's off the hill, start to accelerate pretty good. Okay, sweetheart, 25 is plenty fast. I want to be able to see it. Okay. Definitely need to be there. We got all the time in the world, so let's not rush. We want that all the way back. A6I, Alpha 6 inbound. Can't see the speed, but I know we're going pretty quick. 2025. It's half a bar set. Just to set up, and we'll throw the whole bar on it. Boom, just like that. All right. Give ourselves three-way protection. Kill all this stuff. Throw that open. It should stay like that. It'll be really close. Shut the damper all the way. Make sure your blower, water, and all that stuff's off, and it'll stay really close, even with the fire. Like, even if that was completely full. Now, if the thing's completely full of coal, you'd want to kick some blower on. It'll really lighten up the smoke. But if you don't care, because that blower will use steam, so you'll have to keep the damper open more, and then that'll use coal. Okay, so I don't care about that sitting there. We'll turn that job in. That will have us in pretty dang good shape to unlock the S282, I believe. 29,000 there. There we go. So, pay off our fees, of course. That'll keep the engine from changing much too, because now there's no fire in it, and the compressor and dynamo aren't running either, so nothing's going to change. So we need concurrent 2 to buy the S282. So I'll just go ahead and buy that. Then we'll buy the S282. Don't worry about the insurance copay. You'll be making enough money, it won't matter. But don't have enough money, certainly, to buy any other license. Let's see what we got here. So we'll put everything that we cannot do on the floor. No logistical halls yet. That's pretty good, actually. Nope, that's a long. That's long. That's very long. Okay, that's a good one. That's it's not very much money, but it's pretty good. So the 2 unloads, shockingly, are the trains that we just brought in. Now that one looks pretty good. $18,000 for 81 minutes, but it's 3 drop-offs. And that will be dropping off in the way of probably these. I'm gonna do the station loads first, and then we'll do the station unloads. Is there a 282 here? I cannot tell. Doesn't look like it. What is that? Oh, it's a DMD2. Okay. Okay, so let's grab that first station load, and we'll go do that. That one right there. 2 pickups. That one's 1 pickup. That'll take us like 5 minutes. 26 minutes. Load and prepare train with steel rolls for departure. Got it. So where are we gonna find it? A4S. They're all on A4S, and then we stick it all on B10. That's the easiest thing I've ever seen in my life. So we'll come back to our locomotive, kick our dynamo and our compressor on. We'll fill our oil cups back up. Service your locomotive. Tire handbrake, cut our brakes back in, relight the fire. There we go. Water's good, pressure's fine. Okay, so those are on A4. We're on 6, that's 5. 4 is right over there. Fortunately, we do have to come all the way out of this stub, but it's not that far. There, then the load track, then B1. All right. Easy as pie. That's a lot. Looks like we're lined in there. Now, this is where we're gonna have to pay attention. What number cars is it? 278, 053, and 592. Make sure we keep that at hand so we don't forget. It's okay to run with the door open here. It would be really smoky in real life to run with the door open, but we're not in real life and we'll be okay. Also, that different draft other than the normal air intake can upset the fire quite a bit. Usually not a lot, but okay. Oh, nice. Nice and easy. Oh. Leave that in the middle. Cylinder cocks open, independent on. I don't know that we're gonna need air on this. We'll definitely want it tight. Sometimes when you're switching, you really just don't need the air, but it's good practice to have it just in case you need it. Oh. Throw a little in there just because I need a little water. And so we need to run over the loading track. That's on the same track as the old tower, and then get the cars loaded, and then we'll run over to B1, which is the closest track to the station office. We've got literally a mountain of time. 26 minutes. This is probably going to take 10 at most. And that's our guy right there. I'm just going to use the independent brake for this. I'm going to touch the train because we're not going to need it with unloaded flats. And this thing's got an incredible train brake anyway. Really pretty good. It's not very effective because the locomotive just doesn't weigh anything against like stopping a really heavy cut, but it's not that bad. It's got pretty good adhesion, of course, so. Look at the color of that fire change. You can tell the quality of the fire and the temperature of the fire just by the color of it. And you can see the color as it reflects off the back of the cab of the locomotive. Obviously, the brighter the color, the hotter the fire. Water's in good shape now. think anywhere here counts as on the track. So I'll shut our... Shut my damper back because it's going to be too much. I don't know if that affects the door being open or not. Actually affects it, but we'll check our loading computer here. Training range, load. There we go. Now that's quite a bit heavier. Black cars aren't that light. They're not as light as you'd think when they're empty, but so now we've got what, 63 tons for each car versus 11. So it's significant. Open that damper back up and then let's get going. I'm gonna try the independent here, even before we get to the thing, just so I can see how much effectiveness it has. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. It's only 3 cars. Yeah, it can't be that bad. And I wanted to bunch the train up so it won't be so bad when I do hit it here. I've never damaged anything with... Oh yeah, look at that. We do need some train. There we go. Back that back off a little bit. All right, so now I am going to apply the independent back again. Reverse our direction here. Throw that open. Oh, oops. That's gonna be a huge difference throwing that much coal on that fire while we're just switching around. If I can use it. One of the reasons this is actually a great shunting switching locomotive is because you really don't need a quality fire or to be right on the pop or any of that to switch really well. And like we were talking earlier, this is not a very good locomotive for trying to maintain balance because everything happens so quickly. It really is pretty hard. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff in the way we're gonna have to probably shove, but we'll look at it when we get up there. I'm gonna start slowing this down. Tug on it a bit. That's not too bad. That's 10. 10 will be too much, but I can get that slowed down pretty good. before we get there. I think it's all gonna fit. Maybe just barely, but it is going to fit. All right. Gonna throw a handbrake on here. Now, even if it does hit something, it won't be catastrophic. And we're gonna be good children. We're not gonna leave the air bottled. And we can go turn that in. Just like that. 12 minutes. For $10,600. Right. What, there was a license that I was looking at. What was it? Oh, it's length 1. 10,000 bucks. Alright, so we'll have to pay our fees to buy that. But no big deal. Train length 1. Wait. Removes re-rail discount. Oh no. I can't drive that, but I can drive that now. And that. And that. And that. Okay. Station load, station load. I'm gonna put all the freight hauls over here. Machine factory in town. That's a pretty good job right there. That's too heavy. We'll never make it. That one's borderline. That one's easy. That one's easy. Honestly, this one being so much less effort, so much less weight, and still being close money-wise, is within 6,000, almost 7,000. That's gonna be pretty good money. But we have some others here. 2 pickups, 2 pickups, 3 pickups, $24,000, 78 minutes. That tells you it's going to be a pain in the ass. SL98. Let's go out in the yard and look for SL98 cars. Seven. So they're going to be somewhere between these two tracks, most of them. And some of them will be over there, but I don't remember how many cars was on that train. There's a 98. 2. Oh no. Just these two? Uh-oh. 96, 96. Another 96. The way those are going to be it. That's... Watch this be 98 too. Of course it is. So I have to dig these out. And dig those out. How about over here? V8. V8. Okay. Well, it was 6 cars. Was that 6 total? Between this track and the other 2 tracks? Pretty sure. There's the job. Okay, so it is the 6-car train. So the one on A3 will be easy peasy. B7's annoying though. There's not really anywhere to run around stuff here. There would be if I cleared this track out though. So I think we'll do that. I'll do this unload, which will clear this track. And we know our cups aren't going to be that empty because we haven't run around much. Fire's pretty dang big. That'll come back to life pretty fast. So yeah, if I jump over here and grab, or alternately, hold on. We just do an outbound. It's pretty dang heavy. If we just do an outbound, then we'll be in pretty good shape to just do whatever we want. Go find that elusive 282. You know where there's going to be one. Almost certainly going to be one at the machine factory. That's really heavy, but I bet we can make it. What was that one last time? What was those iron cars? Was that? It's not nearly that far of a run. But the steep bit going up to machine factory is less steep. So that might be rough. Ooh, we might be better off doing this one. Because there's very clearly not a 282 here. We could go to... Yeah, I want to do this one because I want that shovel anyway. This is going to be right here. B20. What do you know? Am I actually off that switch? I'm actually off that switch. Holy cow. How perfect was that? I might be amazing at this. Nope. I'm not gonna need that yet. Even with water on, I'm not gonna need that yet. Oh, hold on. Hold on, Hoss. Hit that too hard. That'll be all right. Okay. So... D5I. Easy peasy. Now, I wanted to go to the goods factory anyway because I want to get the expert shovel, and there's a decent chance there will be a S282 there. Not a great chance, but a chance. All right, so let's get underway here. We'll give that shovel of coal some time to light. Everything else has just been serviced, so I'm not worried about it. Leave the damper wide open for now. It's gonna have to be shut like immediately, but oh yeah. I always try to shut the main switches on my way out, which I didn't last time, so that far side main switch will be open still, but that's okay. 60. Now, running pretty light. It may not seem like it, but I promise you we are using coal and water. Again, it is happening. The throttle's wide open, but the bar's almost at center. Oh yeah, you can run this valve flat out now. I forgot. Still gonna try not to run over 60. One, we don't need to. Water's good. Let's shut that damper. The second reason for trying not to run over 60 is it's economical. This thing's very clearly not built for speed. So the easier we take it, the better off we'll be in many respects. I'm gonna leave that water open a little bit though. I find that for every notch of water, you'll want 1 or 2 notches of damper. I even need 1 more notch of water. It might be for every 2 notches of water. I've honestly got quite a big fire in there, but it's burning really cleanly. And we'll end up needing more, so I'm going to throw some more. Just control it with the damper. Keep our eye on the water, keep our eye on the speed. This thing's throttle is also rather coarse. It's not a very fine control. I'm hooked up, or I'm notched up pretty far, pretty close to center. That will make it worse, but yeah, look at that difference. That's 1 notch of reverser closer to center, and it goes from 6 bar of chest pressure to 15. There's 1 notch of throttle difference. We're okay though, no flange noises. Water's getting close, kind of on equilibrium with water. Fire looks good. When I say it looks good, I mean the color. You really want a light fire, light steam, or smoke color. That's ideal. You want your fire as hot as you can get it without doing that, essentially. So you want your damper as far open as you can get it and as small a fire as possible, right? You'll use less coal that way. You'll use less water that way. It'll be more efficient. Well, the water use is just going to be down to your reverser and throttle, but notch on a little bit of brake here. All right, hush up, you. Just a little. We need to go that way. Need to be less than 50. We're less than 50. One more notch of water, because I think we'll need it. Leave the fire until the damper's wide open, because it isn't. It now as I went full throttle there. Yeah, this boiler is definitely not meant to supply this cylinder arrangement at any sort of speed. Otherwise, it would be okay. Yeah, at this tonnage we're okay, actually, I think. So, E5I. All right. There are D2s for switching services. Oh wait, I am the switcher. I'll let that roll to a stop. 5. 5 was the number. Which is right there. I think I'll just kick these. So. It won't blow up. It'll be fine. I guess I know what I'm going to be going for here early on is that demonstrator 282. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you got to service it manually, but it's also, you know, a great locomotive. So works pretty well. They dumped that. Try the handbrake. Did that even take us 10 minutes? Maybe 15? Oh. $14. Not bad. Cool. $1,400 in fees. There is not a 282 here, however. Oh, excuse me. 414 tons, 105 minutes. Long one, fragile one. So if I spend 10,000 to get fragile one, we can do this. Right? I did buy length one. I do have length one. And we'll make almost after the bonus, because there's a bonus, of course. That was 11,000. We made 16, so it's an extra what? 50%? Almost 80 grand. 75, 80. We'll have to stop for water. Probably at the farm again. Maybe further, because it's not a climb from here. If we spot a steam locomotive or an S282 somewhere, we can borrow it and take it. I think we'll make that the next episode then. That's gonna be a good train. So actually going to do one other thing. So first of all, we're going to go buy the expert shovel because I've been talking about it all this time. There it is, $2,500. Bam. Okay, you get off my hot bar. There you are. It's like the regular shovel but smaller. So the golden shovel is also here. That's 7,000. I think it's double the size of the normal shovel. You literally don't need it. You don't even need the normal shovel. Just this one is plenty. We don't need anything else. I'm not going to make any alterations to default DVRT locomotives, so we'll leave that for, oh, excuse me, the demonstrators. But what I will do, oh, I wonder where our locomotive is. What I will do is go pay the fees. I'm actually going to set my regular shovel in here because I don't need it. So, pay the fees. Buy the fragile license. And then that is a machine factory job. So we want to be facing the way we are. So we can turn back around and get out. No more 10,000. Oh, there's dispatcher, which allows me to change the switches on the route map or in the schematic. Honestly, super handy. I will buy that because it doesn't actually cost you anything. So 105 minutes, and that is FH50. We'll go find that and then back into it, bang into it, get all ready. That looks like it. Look at that. Cool. Oh, that wasn't my locomotive. That's just some house. Well. Oh, it might have been. It actually might have been. Because I serviced the locomotive. So that could have been the thing. So we're gonna not even bother with the fire. So I have to. And I'll deal with the oil cups when I'm hooked up, ready to go. That is full. Okay. I could. Yes, of course. That. I always forget that. Trying to keep these episodes under an hour, but I'm doing a poor job. We'll be okay. Just train things, you know? So that's what we'll be doing in episode 4, is pulling this job, machine factory, seeing if we can find an S282 to start using. And oops, I don't want to. That's good. That reminded me that I was not cut in. Later on, I'll get doing stuff with other locomotives. We'll have some amount of variation at some point, but I like the steam stuff, and hopefully my operation of the steam locomotives helps some of y'all with, you know, how to do it, because it seems difficult, and I guess it kind of is tricky, but it's all about balance and kind of working ahead a bit, and then learning what everything does, right? So, you know, you got your firebox, you got your injector, and then your throttle and reverser, or throttle and Johnson bar, is your primary means of doing stuff. You know, and your brake system, then all the outside components. There's a lot to steam locomotives because they're very, you know, analog, mechanical. Not much about them is really automated. So one of the reasons I like them, they are romantic. They are nostalgic for a time that most of us have never seen or been a part of. Is that actually close with the? Huh. Saw the hook ring here, half ring, and I never realized there was one here. Oh, there would normally be a latch mechanism somewhere that you would be able to put on that to keep it close. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Appreciate you watching, and up for the next one. Peace.